Welcome back to the Reptiles With Podcast.
All right, I'm keeping that one in. Welcome back to the Reptiles With Podcast.
Why am I holding this?
I don't know, dude. So check this out. Right here, I have the smallest letters ever. We're gonna do some Q&A. Today, you only have Eric and I. We're gonna do our best impression of the Wild Type podcast. We are your reptile girlies. Say what's up, Eric.
Howdy, y'all.
Howdy. All right. So, Eric, before we get started, I do have to obviously say we have merch, modernreptileshop.com. You can find the Reptiles with coffee. You can find a bunch of Reptiles with merch, some Modern Reptile merch. Shirt. Yeah, let's go. He's wearing one of the shirts right now full of my dog's hair.
Yes, sir.
We also have memberships. Somebody new joined today, Quality Bred Exotics. Literally right before we started recording, I was like, I saw that he saw one of the episodes that's members only, and he like commented on it. I was like, how did he comment on it? Did I actually like accidentally release the episode? No, he became a member. So thank you so much, Tyler.
Hell yeah.
We have here a list of over 30 questions. Okay. I think that the people can get to know us a little bit better. Something that you and I spoke about, where we were talking about the things that are changing, because there's a lot of stuff coming out, a lot of stuff changing in the podcast that you guys are going to be hearing about very soon. And Chuck is not out of the podcast; he's just not here right now. Where are they? Spoiler alert! No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's just foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing? No. But, you know, I figured since things are changing, something that Eric and I spoke about was, we were like, damn, like, should we talk not only about reptiles and the animals world and whatever, but should we also talk about things that are going on with us? And Eric was like, yeah, maybe we do talk a little bit about stuff like that. So we were going to ask you guys that listen, do you guys want to know about stuff in our personal lives, know about us a little bit more than just like the reptile stuff? And I figured a good place to start, mind you, a lot of these are reptile related, but a good place to start is some Q&A stuff, see what people wanted to know from us. All right? Let's get the first one going, buddy. From a member, Aiden Potter. We're going to go back to back on some of his questions. First question, Eric, are you coming to Tinley?
Probably not.
Really? You don't think we're going to go?
Maybe. That's why I'm saying probably not.
Tino sent me the other day. Tino did send me.
He did give us like a little price thing.
Yeah, he said, it's going to be $500 a person. Let's go.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, it is a lot of money.
Just to see some berms?
No, dude. It's a good time. It's the fucking event.
We'll see. I mean, I'm not opposed to going.
I really want to go.
We'll see.
I really want to go. Hopefully we can make it out. Honestly, more than anything, it's just about getting everybody on the same schedule. Yeah. You know, making sure that we're good financially and stuff like that.
We're driving up there?
No, we're gonna fly. I'm not.
Oh.
I haven't done one of those drives since 2015.
I don't think you want to do one of those drives.
No,
again.
my back hurts. I'm too old for that shit. All right, another one from Aiden Potter. What experience made you first fall in love with reptiles?
Me or you?
You.
Me? I don't know, man. Listen, when you're a little kid, when you're a little boy,
your favorite.
You have four. You have four things that you grow up into. You either become a truck.
A truck?
There's four types. The truck.
Okay.
There's the astronaut. There's the dinosaur, and then there's the car. So it's like you fall into those four categories of like personality. I just fell into dinosaur category. So
okay.
I guess that was.
Yeah.
I don't really know. I really don't know. There's nothing crazy. There's no like special moment with an animal. I kind of I got out and was like, all right, I like animals.
You got out.
Like, you just spawn into the world and you're like, all right, this is what you like now. It's not just reptiles. I do like animals in general. It's not just reptiles. So I guess there is a story for that. It's just reptiles are just more available. It's a lot easier to get a $50 leopard gecko or something like that than it is like a bird or a hyena or something like that. So
yeah.
That's how I got there.
And that's the thing. So something about Eric that since, you know, now that he's been coming on more, he likes animals, period. Like, it's not just reptiles, it's animals. And the reptile side of it really came from when we started working together at the place that we were working at. And it's just exactly that. It was the convenient thing. It was the thing that's the easiest. You can't go out and just get a falcon.
Yeah, it's not as readily available as like ball python or something like that.
Yeah. For me, I would say I always liked animals as a kid. I've said it on and on this podcast. Growing up, my dad always had birds. My dad bred different kinds of parrots. And I really liked animals, and I really thought I was going to be a vet. Like, that was my thing. I was like, I'm going to be a vet. I'm going to be a vet. The problem is that I have horrible allergies. So because of those allergies, I saw that my dad couldn't keep a bird inside. All of his birds were outside. I saw how it was around the dogs. The dogs had to live outside. And I just threw animals completely in general, like, out of my life, because I was like, oh, it's just not realistic. It's just not going to happen. I found other things in my life. I found music. I did music for a very long time. And in that journey doing music, I recalled like being young at my grandma's house, and she had like a couple turtles. You know, those turtles that you would keep in the turtle lagoon that you shouldn't keep in a turtle lagoon, but you do because turtle. You're a fucking Cuban family. You're fucking a bunch of, migrants or whatever. And I remembered that, and I was like, damn, like, I'd like to have a turtle again. And eventually I found a turtle, and it wasn't a little green turtle. It was a striped mud turtle.
How'd you get it?
One of my friends within the music scene was giving it away.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool.
So this was the thing. They were like, "Oh, I found this turtle. Does anybody want it?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll take it." And I only knew turtles as being green turtles.
Yes.
So when I got it, I like sent the guy a message. I was like,
"The fuck is this?"
I was like, "Is something wrong with it?"
Shit's fucking stupid. It's deep fried. It's this big.
Yeah, it was
tiny.
Like, why it look like this? And then I started like taking a deep dive into like different kind of turtles, and I'm like, oh my god, I like turtles. And then I realized, oh my god, turtles don't make me sneeze. This is possible. And yeah, I just started getting into animals again. All right, Aiden Potter again. What recent moment made you feel that again? Made you feel that love for reptiles again? Can I go first on that one while you think?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not going to say that I'm burned out. I'm not going to say that I'm falling out of love for it. But I will say, because of big changes that have happened in my life this year, I've had a hard time getting my drive to do a lot of things. And Eric would know, and you can back me up on this, but I'm one of those people that I go to work, and I come back home and I continue working because I like to work. I like to stay active. I like to. I hate.
I'm a workaholic.
I'm a not day one. What is it? Not one day. Day one. I'm one of those fucking Gary V. Fucking. I'm trying to be an entrepreneur.
You're
kind
Hispanic.
Of thing. Yeah, I'm Hispanic.
You want to work.
That's honestly what it comes down to.
Genes.
It's something that my dad embedded in me. And this year, because of changes that have happened, I haven't felt that at all. I'm having big time imposter syndrome this year. I'm having big time out of the swing of things. Things don't feel as natural as they do to me. I'm just in a weird rut. So to find a specific thing that's made me fall in love with it recently, it's real hard. It's real hard. I don't think I've got more turtles now. Again,
got new species of snake too.
Yeah, and well, I would say specifically the turtles got me more excited because I got some more striped mud turtles in, and that is like turtles are my passion. Like that is the thing for me. So
turtles took a back seat for a long time.
Yeah, that's the thing. And now that I have the availability to have them here outside, and with that specific species, and I'm seeing them get active, I'm seeing them breed, I'm seeing them lay eggs already, and I'm like, okay, it's starting to feel like me again. Your turn.
My turn?
Yeah. What made you feel lovely with reptilians recently?
Again?
Yeah.
So I plateaued for a long time. Probably the last 5 years. I was kind of like, it was just normal to me. Like I didn't get excited. Like I lost the excitement factor. Like,
yeah.
Especially,
can I say some inside baseball stuff that had to do with our previous employment?
What?
Can I?
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. Okay.
I don't care.
Okay. So, for those who knew or who know where we used to work, Eric legitimately had he wanted to leave that place for a very long time, and we kind of coerced him and convinced him no, dude, stay. Like things are tight here because we're just hanging out with each other.
Well, no. That at that point I was fine. It's when things went down. I was like, all right, let me leave now before I'm next.
Yeah. But for a while you were doing that, what you're saying, the plateau, the not feeling so good.
I was
about
content, but like I wasn't excited. Like, like I would see customers come in and they're like losing their minds over like a little ball python they're getting, and, it's
you're like, oh, whatever. Yeah.
Like even with the cool stuff that we get in, like we would get like random like rare species that that are obviously like special.
Yeah.
You know, and I still wouldn't feel like all that crazy about it. I would be like, oh, that's cool, but I didn't have that sense in like my heart until I hatched my first baby turtles. After that, reset. I like this shit again. After I started keeping stuff outside, it kind of like revamped everything. Because at that point, I started keeping the stuff that I wanted. Because ever since a little kid, I wanted carpets, but I was a little kid, so I really didn't understand.
Yeah, it wasn't super realistic.
It's a bigger snake, and of course, even nowadays, people are still talking shit about them, about their anger issues, basically. And
you know what's crazy? I haven't had any issues with that kind of stuff.
With
like any kind of like aggression with any of the ones that I have to me.
You talking about carpets?
Yeah, carpets.
Well, you got Brettles.
They're
usually nicer.
I got diamonds too, bitch. Fuck you.
I don't know about their personality.
Why are we both burping so much? We
ate some weird shit.
Yeah, we had tacos like a little while ago, and also banana shakes.
Yeah.
For God knows what reasons. Anyways, continue. So you're getting it back because of the hatching turtles.
I hatched my first turtles, I think, just about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And that kind of redid it because like I'm getting like it's a new turtle that's like I helped create, so it's weird. It's you have a hand in this.
You're like a fucking
creation.
daddy.
No, that's the turtle.
Oh,
I will never take the credit away. I'll never say that I bred.
Right.
The turtles hatched under my care.
Let's go.
That's how I will see it.
Okay, so now this next one. If you could bring back, and let's do this one a little quick. If you can bring back one species from extinction, what would it be? Eric's answer is the thylacine.
Yes, that is correct. That's more of a personal thing. I don't think it would offer much in terms of anything else.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I
love them.
To support Eric, I will also say the thylacine.
Wow. You don't want to be different?
No,
It's just been different. I
I
chose the thylacine.
The scene Lathai.
Oh God! All right, he wants to revive the Rodriguez day gecko.
Fire. That's the one because it shares my last name.
Exactly, and it's huge.
That's what she said. Anyways, how can we, your followers, help start/support the KFC movement, buddy? We're asking ourselves that question every day, and that Aiden Potter goes back to back with Iggy Oto's question. What's the status of KFC? So I'm just gonna give the two for right now. A lot of like I said earlier, a lot of things are changing with the podcast. Having to, scheduling is a little bit difficult. Employment is moving around a lot right now.
Personnel.
Personnel, stuff like that. And it sounds like we're throwing shade. We're not throwing any shade. No, we're just trying to figure things out. Stuff is happening, over here, and we're trying to make everything work. And something that, regardless of things, like we are very passionate about the KFC thing. And we were supposed to do a movie about Split Oak, and I had said it on a previous episode. That was really going to be the hard launch of KFC, but with my employment switches, I lost a lot of that, a lot of the documents, a lot of my notes, all of the music that I had for that short film. So it's just.
It's on the back burner, unfortunately.
It is currently on the back burner, but I was thinking about it literally today that I was like, okay, once we're able to figure out exactly how we're operating now, that's like got to be the next thing, is getting back into the KFC thing. I know Frank Payne posted something today, and he tagged a bunch of accounts, and one of the accounts was like a Herpeticulture, like Responsible Herpeticulture Network or something like that, and it's like in a similar vein. It's a foundation, a nonprofit. It's kind of seems very similar to the KFC idea, which I think is really awesome. All right, we got Zoe _reptiles.
Hell yeah!
What is your favorite reptile fun fact?
Oh shit!
And she puts, and it can't be that snakes have two.
Wait, can or can't? I read it as can.
It can't.
Oh, it can't.
Yeah, no.
We were just talking about how we have to think about that one.
Yeah, of all of the questions that we have, that's the one we're like, oh, fuck.
Like, what's a fun fact?
Look up a fun fact right now on your phone.
No, that's cheating.
And just look it up. Just fuck it. Reptile fun facts.
No, bro, I'm not doing that. Fuck that. I'm not cheating. My favorite reptile fun fact is that
Shut the
turtle cannot get out of its shell.
That's not
it's
fun.
Surprising how many people don't know that, and it is fun seeing the reaction.
Okay.
So I guess that's all I have off the top of my head. What else exists? All right, rapid fire fun fact. How about that?
Rapid fire fun fact. I have none.
Wow.
You know, that to me is one of those questions where like I feel like it's so like. This is not a slight. It's like such a simple question, but it's like, why can't I answer this right now?
Because we're dumb. That's why.
Oh, okay. Well, that solved it.
I should know more fun facts. I know facts, but I don't know if they're fun. Tuatara is it's by itself. It's not related to lizards. It's not related to frogs. Frogs aren't reptiles, but see, I'm stupid. Yeah. The stupid's coming out.
Look, what we're gonna do is we're gonna table that one, and we're gonna try to come back to it. By the end of the
podcast, I will have a better answer.
Yeah. All right, Jamie Hagan. How do you handle / deal with negativity or haters on social platforms and also in person? Okay.
Roll with it.
In person, I don't think I've gotten a lot in person. Have we gotten any in person?
No.
No.
Mostly just because they don't want to confront.
Yeah, I'd say if any, well, the only actual negativity that we got was at one show in Orlando when somebody we knew didn't want to say hi to us and completely walked past us even though they were 2 tables away from us. And we were cool, but things were just weird because we were at that show together.
Oh.
I can't say more details.
About a different show.
All right, what show were you thinking about?
Can I say it?
What is it? Who does it have to do with?
Fucking...
Wait, go like this. Who? Oh, no. I don't think you can say that one.
The only one that I could think
But it wasn't a negative one. It wasn't negative.
It was like... It was negative. They're trying to like...
I'll say at because of content on this podcast at Animal Con, I did get put in a situation where I had a conversation with somebody about some of the things that were said. But I don't think it was negative. I don't consider it a negative thing. It was just like, hey, we're addressing this situation that this was spoken about on the podcast. And I was kind of just like, I have nothing personal. Like, it's not like that. This is a podcast. This is what we do. We're trying to do some comedy over here. We're trying to make this live. We're trying to be a little funny.
I guess I'm reaching because there really hasn't been many. There hasn't been any really.
Yeah.
In terms of like confrontation. Because usually people who have something to say like that, it's usually online and it's usually worked with online.
Well, now that online, how do we deal with it online? So
you roll with it.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah, I'd say
it's very interactive.
Okay, this is the thing. Again, I've said this on the podcast before. When I was doing music stuff, I was touring with a band that at the time seemed like the most hated signed touring acts of that genre because all we got was hate. Damn. And I could not take it at that time. Even though none of the hate was geared towards me. The hate comments were like, I hate this person, that person, and this person.
But not you.
But the guitarist, he's kind of all right.
Oh,
like,
hell yeah.
Those were the comments, but it was just more about like being in a band that was so hated. And I didn't take it well back then, but it gave me a little bit of a more rough skin. I will say it only hurts when it's somebody I respect. Yeah, because I value their opinion.
Yeah.
If it's just somebody random on the, somebody random that I don't know that doesn't have a profile picture or hardly has an actual username, I mean, dude, they're putting their opinion out there. We're putting this stuff out there. It takes a lot of fucking balls a lot of the time to release some of this shit. And honestly, like, it helps engagement.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's interactive.
Yeah.
Whenever hate comes by, it's very fun to see it happen.
Now, Quality Bred Exotics, new member. Let's go. On that, how to get a brand deal or boost social media interactions. So
nude shells.
Nude shells. As far as getting social media interactions, I would say what's helped. Mind you, I've fallen off a lot on that this year, but what has helped me before is just answer all the comments, be a part of the community outside of your local stuff, comment on a lot of people's other stuff, message people in your similar fields, and build relationships, and eventually those things will come naturally.
Be active and keep yourself present.
Yes. As far as brand deals, we work with a couple sponsors. We have that sponsors with the Reptiles with Coffee, and then we have a sponsorship with Repticon, which is a reason why you guys see us once a month at those shows. Other than that, so when I pass a certain amount of followers, I get like random emails to promote miscellaneous nicotine gum. I got one that was like edamame. I was like, I'm not gonna fucking promote edamame and nicotine gum. I thought about the nicotine gum. That one I did think about, but it was more of a thing like, I want to get this free product because I heard that nicotine helps supposedly with like cognitive function or something, but I ended up settling for my memory and focus pills by Onnit.
Oh boy!
Thank you, Joe Rogan. Again, quality bred exotics. You're gonna see him a lot because he put a lot of questions in here. Let's go.
In there.
You're in charge of running. This was more for you. You're in charge of running an educational show at a school with kids. Your favorite, Eric. What's the top 3 most important topics to cover, or top things you hope to pass along during the show?
I mean, obviously, you want to get the elephant in the room out of the way. Reptiles are not bad, so you bring a couple of snakes. You teach the kids that they're not going to kill you and they're not really threatening at all. So I think a really important one is snakes aren't bad, because I think that's probably the most common situation people have with reptiles. It's usually a snake or a turtle crossing the road. Those are usually the 2 things you'll see, and nobody hates turtles. So I'd probably say snakes aren't bad is a really important one to get across. Something that I've even thought about introducing would be animal safety. So like, for example, I would always see like little kids and stuff and like videos online about how like they come up to like service dogs and like the people freaking out and everything like that. So it's like, maybe I could teach the kids something similar to that with reptiles, because I know I don't want to say that reptiles are eager to bite you, but I would say it's a little bit easier to get bit by a reptile than it is other animals that they're in contact with a lot more. So I think teaching the kids animal behavior and how to understand the animal and to see where its mind at, I think it's pretty interesting, and I think it'll really help change the way they view the animals, because now they understand, oh, these animals think. These animals have a way of, seeing the world. So if I can have the kids or whoever I'm educating empathize with that, they'll have some more respect for the animal. So I'd definitely say that. So would be snakes aren't bad.
Reptiles aren't scary.
I guess, yeah.
Animal safety. And maybe respecting the animals?
Yeah. I kind of put both of them together.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd probably say those are the important ones, because I could show a group of people like some crazy species and stuff like that, but it's like, oh, wow, look about that one time that I saw this. But if you actually teach them something that's a little bit deeper than that, I guess, for me, in my head, it would make me feel like, okay, I learned something out of this. So
yeah. Okay, Jesse Haas, which he has his own podcast. You guys should check it out. And he's trying to get the 4 of us on it. Mm-hmm. So hopefully we can get on that soon. He says, my question is for Chucky. What pairings will he be doing on ball pythons this season? And what's his recommendation on rack brands? And then he says, and Yoshii West, what's your frog's name? Jesse, go fuck yourself. No, I'm just kidding.
No. I mean, listen, I don't think he's going to want me to say it, but he's working on some crazy stuff. He's working with some like albino pieds right now, I think.
Yeah, Chucky's killing it. Spider ball pythons.
Yes.
Caramel ball pythons. Desert, not desert ghost. Desert ball pythons.
He's bringing it back. He's going to prove it out.
He's like, I'm going to prove all of the ball pythons that have issues. I'm going to prove that they don't have issues in my facility.
He's also working on his own morph, the buzzcut albino, which is why
the Puerto Rico morph.
The Boricua. Yeah, it's gonna be fire. It's gonna have kinks all over the place.
Yeah,
the duckbill. It's gonna have
literally gonna have those the gloves, the boxing gloves. That's the pattern. Is the boxing glove.
That's where the pied you're gonna see like the little shapes and stuff.
Oh my god,
oh man. Yeah, look out for it. Mad Bio Reptiles.
Yep. Mad Bio Ball Pythons.
Mad Bio Balls.
Kate the Gray. What do you guys think of owning native Floridian species for breeding and conservation work? I would say I think this is dependent on the inception.
The inception, what do you mean?
How are you getting the animal?
Okay. So it's like if it's like wild stock?
Yeah, if you are getting wild stock and this is a tricky subject, because like if you take one out of the wild, that doesn't do much damage. It's when a bunch of people and the numbers happen, right? If your intention is to get a pair and maybe release. I don't even know if that's legal.
Yeah, it's a tricky subject for me.
Yeah.
If you have everything like lined up, because the thing is too, you also have to remember like how are you helping conservation? Because a lot of the time when it's like private breeding, conservation or preservation or whatever, thing is out there helping protect the species, they usually don't have any sort of what's the word?
I don't know, bro.
They don't have any relation to the private sector, so it can be pretty tricky to even get your foot in the door like that. And you also have to be really careful of where you're getting the animals from and where you're releasing them. Say you are going to release it. I don't know if that's the case, but it really depends on what you want to do with it. But for me, it's just tough just because, again, you don't necessarily know. If you know exactly where you're getting the animals and you're releasing them in the same spot, that's one thing. But even where I used to work, I would always get people coming in with like, oh, I'm going to do this and this with like an animal they caught outside and they're going to release it in different places. And it's like,
it doesn't work that way.
That's not how it works. You can open a lot of bad Pandora's boxes when it comes to that. Not to say that it always will, but biodiversity is a very tricky subject. So you always want to make sure you have everything lined up. But in theory, it could work as long as every party involved is willing to work on it.
If your goal is conservation work, do that with an organization that works on conservation. You don't have to do it by yourself. It's safer to do it through an organization anyways because of legalities, especially with a lot of species. However, if this question is for captive bred native animals, that is a different thing. That is a captive bred animal. In my opinion, doesn't belong in the wild anymore. That is a different thing, and you could own it up the ass. I mean, the striped mud turtles I have, I've had some that are captive bred. I've had some that are long-term captive. But
that's completely separate from the wild population.
Yeah. And mind you, I don't know if she was saying this because, like, in relation to wild-caught animals or just in general, species that are from Florida. But the conservation thing in general is tricky because, we got to be careful with bloodlines and stuff like that. And even something that you said with biodiversity, animals, like there are striped mud turtles, let's say in the Everglades down south, and there are striped mud turtles here that can handle different kinds of temperatures, terrains, etc. I had issues moving the ones that I had for years in Miami up here because they never dealt with a cold. And some of them just did not thrive. Nightfall exotics. What are you most hyped for at Daytona? The hang.
The hang.
It's not even so much the show. It's the hang.
Yeah.
Yeah. Diller bruh. That's Dylan. Out of all the endangered species, if one had to be more focused and pushed on, which one would it be? I'll let you answer that one.
See, that kind of goes back into the question about conservation, just because a lot of the captive stuff isn't going back to the wild, so it's not really helping with conservation, other than the fact that I guess it would stop, if anything, one or two people going out there to poach. Yeah. That's another tricky question. If we're talking about like native stuff,
no, it doesn't have to be native. Just one endangered species. Yeah. One endangered species that you would want to have more focus on. If you had to pick one,
what do I have that's endangered? I don't really have a lot of stuff that's endangered.
You have this dick.
Hey, I'd probably do some sort of turtle. Actually, in a perfect world, if I was actually allowed, I would work with the Manning River turtle in Australia. It's a really cool little side neck. And it's very special because it's in its own genus.
Genus rhymes with penis. Continue.
And it's supposed to be like one of like the most like primitive genuses. And now I'm second guessing myself. It could be the Ballinger River turtle or the Manning. So one of those two. I definitely picked those.
Can you check for me if are diamondback terrapins like as a whole considered endangered or just threatened?
I believe threatened, but I will double check.
Because I know probably like the ones in Key West might be endangered. I don't know. Check real quick. Eric is pulling it up now.
They are vulnerable.
Vulnerable. Really? Okay. So I do not have an answer because that was going to be my answer. I thought they were doing worse. Didn't they say that they were going to put alligator snapping turtles now in endangered?
I'll be surprised.
I think I read something like that. I could be spreading fake fucking news right now as we speak. As we speak, I'm fucking doing it. All right. Carolina Royal Dragons. Where do you think the line should be drawn on regulations for keeping certain species?
Ooh.
I feel I don't know, because I have opinions about what makes a good pet and what doesn't, and I feel that is a very big distinction on what should be generally kept. Because
what was the question again?
Okay, it says I lost it.
Yeah, it's tiny.
Where do you think the line should be drawn on regulations for keeping certain species?
Where the line should be drawn.
Yeah.
Where the line should be drawn.
Yeah. It's hard because this is a free country. You're supposed to be able to do what you want for the most part within certain parameters, but like
what crime would I have to commit with the animals?
What?
That would cause a restriction.
No, but it's not even a crime. Like, what if it's an animal that can harm somebody? Not everybody should have a crocodile monitor.
Manslaughter. I don't know.
Monitor slaughter. Monitor manslaughter. That's the name of my band. Monitor manslaughter. That's fire, dude.
That sounds like a really shitty, Swedish power metal band that I would listen to.
How would they say their name?
No, I can't do a Swedish accent.
You can't do a Swedish accent?
No, I can only say Sabaton in Swedish.
How do you say Sabaton?
Sabaton. They say it like that.
That was normal.
Yeah, it was normal. I can't do shit.
Yeah.
I thought about that question earlier today, and I still really couldn't say anything other than permits.
I do think it's sad that. I'll tell you what. We're in Florida, and I might get poo-pooed on for saying what I'm about to say, but I think a lot of the snakes that are banned, I think that they have reason. Berms, retics, that is a hard pet to have. A lot of people end up giving those away. Maybe that's something that we draw the line on, something that's giant that we can't really house properly. A lot of us. Things that don't make sense to me is a tegu. Other than the fact that they are invasive. I understand what
I think
the
a big
environmental
issue with
impact
them was that they were too available too quickly.
Sure.
And I think that's something that really does affect how things get banned through time.
Yeah.
But if we're talking about like restrictions like that,
a tegu makes a great pet.
They are a good pet. Yeah. I'd probably also say the iguana ban, not necessarily about keeping, but it's people aren't allowed to do anything with them now. You can't take them out of the wild. You can't, I think you can still.
That's the thing with regulations, man. It's like they take it away in just this big manner, and it's just
a big umbrella law that kind of takes away a lot of neutral or even positive actions.
Government, right? Yeah. Life of Shiv Exotics, unlimited money, acreage, and permits. What would y'all's dream animal be?
Have a horse.
I fucking hate this.
I'd have a horse and a few antelope. I'd have a sable antelope.
I'll say. Ooh, wait. Did you say laws?
No, you can have anything.
Unlimited money, acreage, and permits.
Yeah.
Bald eagle.
Ooh, I completely forgot about birds. I'd have a shoebill. No, I won't have a shoebill. No, but I have unlimited acres.
Okay, let's say a reptile. Reptiles with pockets.
Marine iguana. I'd have a huge.
Marine iguana is fire.
I'd have a huge saltwater inlet, and I'd have 5 of them.
Damn. Skink Daddy, he says, what are your 4? Wait. What are you 4 going to do? I'm so sorry, dude.
When are us 4 going to do a vlog? Herping in Puerto Rico.
Thank you. Yeah, it's just this thing is so.
I would love to do that. But we got to figure ourselves out first.
That was actually a conversation that was had.
It will happen, though, in the future.
Yeah, it was a conversation had not that long ago because Tino went to Puerto Rico. And then it was, when are we going to go? And my thing was, I don't want to see frogs. So I don't know.
Okay, listen. I know you have a thing with the cane toad. But trust me, when you see a coqui, you're going to start crying because it's beautiful.
I will not. I am not Puerto Rican. I don't resonate with that at all.
All right, I'll just throw you to the Cubans.
No!
Yeah. There was also a lot of Cubans there, unfortunately.
Fuck.
So, yeah, I guess you're right on that. But we'll go there one day.
All right.
Or day one.
Yeah.
Well, day one of saving.
Dinos on display. That is my most sketchiest friend ever.
The sketch lord?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Sketchy.
I think he's trying to pull some bearded dragon propaganda.
Always up to no good. Can't drive around the back of plazas for any reason.
Scoundrel.
I don't know why I said that. That was a crazy thing I just said. Anyways, Dinos on display says, what is your favorite animal and why is it a bearded dragon? Next question.
It's a great animal. It's great if you don't know what you're doing, you get that, you kill the bearded dragon first, and then you realize that you actually wanted a blue tongue.
There you go. I'm not even going to answer that because that was great. All right, quality bred exotics. These are rapid fire ones, okay? Because these are the ones right?
Let's do it.
Are beginner reptiles the same for everyone?
No.
Okay.
But we got to explain, though. That's a good question to explain.
All right, explain that one.
All right, so I am not of the believer that there shouldn't be like a set of beginner reptiles for everyone. For example, if you don't like snakes, the snake, of course, is going to be off the table. And
but I think there's more like, if you want a lizard, this is your beginner animal, do this. If you want a snake, this is your beginner snake, do this.
I am not in the believer in that because I think if you really want an animal, for example, if you want a green tree python, if you do all of your research, or not all of it, as much research as you can, and continue to research the animal after you get it.
Responsibly,
what would you say? Responsibly, yes. And you also commit to having the animal. You commit to its routine.
The bit. Let's go.
Exactly. Like, you can get whatever you want. Like, back in my old job, I would sell chameleons to people as their first animal, and they've come back years later, and the chameleon's doing awesome because Tyler's one of them. Just because they followed everything to a T, they understood the animal's needs, and they kept up with a routine. You know, I think that too easily people are scared away from specific animals.
Sorry, I'm going to start calling Tyler Caucasian Tino. Anyways, continue.
Hey, I mean, you can. But I think people are scared away too easily with the animals. That is kind of like a double-edged sword because it is a good idea if you are hesitant, don't get the animal because you could end up messing up with it or something. I'd rather you be confident in an animal. Yeah. But if you want the green tree, if you want to get an Ackie monitor, get it. You don't have to start with training wheel animals. Granted, if you want to have a reptile room, you can, but that is a reason why people end up with so many animals.
All right.
So
quality bred exotics. Should you consider terrestrial over arboreal based on space? That's a
yeah. You can. So perfect example is the carpets.
Yeah.
If you don't have a lot of space in the room, it is a lot easier to build up. And a semi-arboreal snake like a carpet, you can capitalize that by giving them levels as you go up. So you end up making, like, surface-wise, you can end up making a bigger enclosure than you really would have thought.
So, you're right.
Yes.
Is the right starter animal different for you, and how to pick your first? I think you already answered that. Just do your research. Yeah. Dillerbra, what's your opinion on hybridizing? When I say I am pro hybridizing, I don't mean everybody should hybridize. What I mean is, these animals are not going back into the wild. They are specifically for the pet sector. There are definitely animals that maybe we consider we don't because of rarity, and maybe we want to keep it quote unquote pure. But when it comes to hitting pet markets, as long as you're transparent and honest about what it is that you have, I don't think it matters too much. That's a big conversation now because of the blue tongues. We're starting to get some morphs, and
that's a big one that everyone's going crazy about.
And we don't have bloodline for Australian stuff. It's very limited. Even some of the animals that have been bred since the 90s they have defects visually. So the only stuff that we get from the wild that we can get some new bloodline is Indonesian stuff, especially like Taliqua. I think it's
Gigas.
No, Taliqua skincoides SP or something. The Irian
the one that legit doesn't have like an actual species name.
No.
There's one that doesn't though, right?
Is it no? There's to look up.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Look up an Irian Jaya blue tongue skink and let me know the scientific name. It might be just Taliqua skincoides SP or something like that. Irian Jaya blue tongue skink or Papuan. Is that the right terms now?
See, you would think that, but because of how things are classified.
Scroll down. Taliqua SP?
Yes.
All right, whatever. Taliqua SP. So that's they even visually, they kind of look similar to some, like, they're like a large Eastern to me. They're like the perfect in-between between like actual Indonesian, like Gigas and our skincoides. And because of that, like, they make a good option for us to put into some of these mutations to kind of like spread out that bloodline. So when it comes to that, I mean, hybridizing is the option.
Yeah, I feel like a hypocrite because I'm mostly like, for me, it's like if the animal's diversity and bloodlines are already fucked up, for example, carpets, it's a very limited bloodline, very similar to blue tongues. People already been hybridizing since we got the species in the States. That I feel more comfortable working with just because that's all that there is, and there's not really a huge, demand or like want to like for the pure stuff. I know that people work with pure stuff, and that's great, But it's like I would feel more comfortable hybridizing a carpet than I would like a turtle species or something like that. Just because for me, if there's an animal that's good with its genetics and it's pure and everything, I'd try to leave those species pure and just work with the stuff. If I have to make hybrids, work with the stuff that's already kind of muddied up. That's me. Yeah. That's just my opinion.
Jesus J. Delgado. This was more for me.
Jesus.
Yes, Jesus. Looking for red cheek or Tabasco mud babies. Love your listings. Do you have a new clutch coming soon? I haven't gotten eggs from them yet. I do have the juveniles that are there. But in the incubator right now, I got redfoot tortoises. I got ball pythons. I got Reeves turtles. I have striped mud turtles. That's in the incubator right now cooking. And probably... I mean, this is not in the incubator, but the blue tongues outside are probably going to go soon.
Oh, yeah.
Quality bred exotics. We got a couple. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like 8 questions from them. These are the rapid fire ones. All right. How important is enrichment?
Very important.
Okay. Is bioactive a benefit?
It can be, but it is a lot of the times overrated. You don't have to do it all the time.
Yep. If someone's looking to breed reptiles, what should they think of first?
No, not the money. The animal you want to breed, you got to make sure that is something that you can actually commit to. And
I would actually agree with the first thing you said.
The money,
not because of the making the money of. Can you make that investment and understand that these things are alive?
Like, can you pay
you
yourself? I guess
pay
that is
for
a
the
good
things
point.
the right way. Yes, I would say the money. What species? What supplies would they need? Time? Is it a passion or just thinking of profit? So this is the thing about breeding reptiles. You have to make You don't have to do it for a profit. You don't have to do it for a living. You don't have to make a business out of it. That's for specific people. If you want to do it for fun, it's okay. If that is your objective, to do it as a hobby, do it to the animals, do it to the benefit of the animals, and do not cut the corners that sometimes people as breeders do to make it more financially correct. What species would you recommend?
If you're just starting, start small. You can use, like, for me, I started with 3 stripes because they're a small species of turtle that breeds fairly readily. And they're very easy to incubate.
Yeah.
If we're talking lizards, you can do cresteds. It's probably the easiest thing to breed right now.
Yeah.
Snakes.
I'd say, honestly, look.
I would hate to say it with ball pythons, but...
Yeah, I would say, in my opinion, what species with what Eric said earlier, a lot of research, seeing what you actually like. If it's a mutation thing, if it's a species thing, regardless, I would always aim for unique.
Yeah.
Don't follow the crowd. What supplies you need? Bedding, food supply,
an incubator,
water, dishes, incubators if it's not live birth.
I learned that lesson.
Yep, yes, you did. Food. Did I say food availability? Proper caging, proper heating, lighting.
So it really is money, like upfront investment from your end. Yeah.
Yeah. And then time. You're gonna need a lot of time. These things are alive. They're not a commodity. Quality bred exotics. What's a morph?
I have it loaded already.
Hey, let's
go.
A
morph is a genetic mutation that causes a visual difference in coloration, pattern, or physical characteristics compared to the same animal in nature. So basically, it's like a dog breed.
Yeah. So, and then with that is what is recessive and what is dominant. So the best way that I can put it is that a recessive mutation
is hidden.
No. If you breed a recessive mutation, does not get passed down first generation. That rhymed. That was not on purpose. Unless you breed those 2 same recessive mutations together, then you get that. When it comes to incomplete dominance, those can pass down first generation, and then you get a thing where it's called like a super or a complete dominant. Is if you breed those 2 together and make a different kind of phenotype.
If I'm not mistaken, that can also cause like lethal.
No.
Death in babies sometimes, or
it depends on the that depends on the mutation.
Okay.
That doesn't depend on if it's this or that. The thing is though is when you're breeding those like things together, especially here in the pet trade, that means at some point more than likely they were related. So that is where if you're doing too much of that inbreeding, species dependent, it can cause some kind of issues. Which is why outcrossing is important if you can. what's lineage? So lineage is
a family tree.
Yes, think about it like that, a family tree. Where with Blue Tongues, I have a thing called the Fuego Project. The Fuego Project, what I did is that I bred all the best red blue tongue skinks that I can get my hands on, and I bred them all together for a little bit, and I made a very, very, very red animal.
Red as hell.
Yeah, red as fuck. Like, not orange that you see a lot of these blue tongues. This shit is Coca-Cola can red. I have a couple of them, and now it's about refining that and just getting it better and better and better, and that is where lineage comes in. And then, with the blue tongues, you'll have like a Turner White, like lineage wise, keeping records that comes from Ray Gerge, etc. I could have been super wrong with that because I'm spitballing, but I'm pretty sure everything I just said was correct.
And on the note of like what we were talking about hybrids earlier, I think lineage is probably one of the most important things when it comes to working with hybrids, because that will basically keep your hands clean.
Yeah. What water to use for missing, drinking, living in? I actually use the same water that I drink. Well, you dechlorinate your water.
No, so I dechlorinate my frog's water. That's it. Everybody else gets tap, and the turtles outside get hose water.
Hose water, yeah. What I have done in the past, and a lot of turtle breeders do, is they have a well. They use well water. Mm-hmm. That's something that I'm going to see if I can do in my house, because that will save money. Quality Bred Exotics. Last one from Quality Bred Exotics. Do you get to go on vacation if you have a large collection? Everybody deserves a vacation if that's what they want. But when I leave town, I understand that I am leaving behind a big, quote unquote, burden. Mm-hmm. Times that I go to the reptile shows, my wife stays here, and I know that if anything happens, at least I have her here. She can call Tino. She can call whatever friends we have here, and that. But if we are both out of town, if we're both going on to do something, I mean, it's scary having over 100 animals, and you're like, I hope everything's going to be okay. And luckily, the caveat about having reptiles and why they make a good pet for a lot of people is that if you need to go away for a couple of days, more than likely your animal's going to be fine. But yeah, you're allowed to go on a vacation.
It just makes it difficult.
It makes it difficult. You agree with that? You got anything to add? All right. Kayla Johnson. Do an episode on which species you predict are coming up. We know ball pythons aren't leaving, but new and seasoned keepers are diversifying what species they want to keep and breed. I'm interested to see what people think. I actually want to include that in another episode, where we can talk about that a little bit longer in detail. And I don't know if that episode is coming out before this or after this.
But it will be answered.
But that will be answered. I will say, short form wise, something unique. Maybe I don't have a specific species in mind, but I notice a trend that people want a lot more unique species these days. So I would just say keep it like that. Something that I'm looking at a lot, and it's not because I'm trying to glug Chuck's... but the mountain lizards.
Really?
Yeah. I'm seeing them a lot, like different, species that I'm like, damn, that's fucking cool. Yeah, I think that they're very unique, very, very unique. And once they get dialed in perfectly, that they're going to be, in my opinion, what is the green tree, emerald tree boa of the lizards.
Interesting, because I've seen nothing from them.
Really? I've noticed a big trend with them. Dude, it's like a step up from a knoll, and if you can't have like an iguanid, like an actual iguana, it's like it's like right there. It's not a bearded dragon. It's not a blue tongue. It's like something that's going to be a great display pet. A little bit harder to keep, but again, once you dial it in perfectly, I mean, having that with like water features and this and that, like it's going to be.
That's cool. An easy animal to do like a crazy setup for. I think we're going to get smaller, like in terms of like what we keep.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's a smaller species.
Well, it goes into that, but like I'm talking about like little like jungle boxes, like micro geckos and like darts. I think I'm seeing the hobby is getting more and more scape focused, very similar to the fish world.
Good.
People are making their enclosures really nice. They're getting small animals, making it more practical for them.
Yeah.
So I do see that becoming a thing. So.
All right, now this is the last question. This was asked by me because I had a story with you over here, but you're allowed to talk about what happened with you. if you want to talk about that specific thing. I think you should go first, just because mine is more on the funny side.
All right, well, we'll ask the question.
All right, so the question that I asked myself, biggest keeping mishaps so far in 2024.
So 2024 started off strong with outside stuff. So I was chilling. I made my outdoor enclosure, had turtles, tortoises, iguanas outside, spiny tail iguanas, and pretty much the worst thing I could have thought about happening ended up happening. All my baby three stripes were eaten by a raccoon that got into the enclosure, and that was a pretty tough pill to swallow. I'm still trying to get over it. It
wasn't tough for the raccoon, sorry.
No, it really wasn't, because dude, he literally dude, I don't know who did a worse job at killing the younglings. I don't know if Anakin did a worse job or the raccoon, because he left bodies everywhere. He was not very good at, and seeing my firstborn, like the shell all fucked up in there, it was pretty tough. So I definitely learned the lesson that I don't know why I didn't fortify that pen, but yeah, I made it pretty easy for stuff to get into. That's why I didn't really go crazy about, how'd something get in here? You know, if there's any weak spots that you think about something happening, something will happen and you will pay the price for it. Now, fortunately, I do have some, more. I don't want to downplay them. I love those three stripes. Not only were they an animal that I would sell, but they're also very personal to me, because those were the first animals I had bred. But I did have, animals that I would have a lot worse of a time getting over if they were gone. So I guess I could see the optimism in that, but I learned my lesson. Just fortify everything, even though the animals themselves are secure in their enclosures, they can't get out. You always have to pretty much do double the work to make sure things aren't getting in. So raccoons, possums, hawks, cats, anything like that. I know it's a pretty obvious one, and I thought I did a good enough job, because in my area, we don't really have a lot of things that would get into stuff like that. But a raccoon that was smart enough got in and
figured it out.
And to put the nail in the coffin too, after I buried the shells, because I would see pieces of the shells everywhere, I buried them all. The next night, he came back and dug up the grave. That motherfucker. So
too.
Yeah, if you guys see a raccoon anywhere,
Buddy came back for seconds.
He did. Came back for thirds and fourths too. And he ended up stopped showing up after I changed stuff around. But don't be lazy. Finish your project and make sure it's nice and secure.
So with what Eric said, and it's advice that I gave you when that happened, it was, if you think it can happen, if there is
going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah, it can happen. And I say that because I have kept animals outside pretty much since I started working with animals, and I've made a lot of mistakes. And I'm not saying that right now to rub it in your face. I'm saying that to fucking, because I shot myself in the foot with what I'm about to say. Yeah. Because I say that to Eric, and then the other day Eric was at my house. All right. And we're walking past my Brettles enclosure.
It's feeding day.
It was feeding day, but I didn't have rodents with me. Maybe it smells a little bit on my shirt.
Well, you did have the rodents. The rodents were there,
but they weren't near
next to the enclosure.
Yeah. They were. I mean,
they were in food mode.
Yeah, they were in food mode, and I've always fed them together, and I've never had an issue. And Eric and I walked past the enclosure, and I guess the male passed right in front of the female, and she went at him, coiled him up. And I was just like, dude, it's poetry. It's poetry, because the thing happened to you, and I was telling him, Eric, this is why I tell you, if you think it can happen, it can happen.
Dude, I can just hear the anti-cohabiting people writhing.
You're fucking stupid.
Yes.
Yeah.
I get
and this was my fucking mishap. It was, the animals were fine. I literally, I don't think you've ever seen me grab an animal the way that I grabbed that animal.
I grabbed the animal.
What do you mean?
Wait, I don't. Oh, no, you grabbed it first and you handed it to me.
Yeah, so that way I could get the head. Yeah, but it was like that. I was just like, dude, if I'm getting bit, and you guys know I don't like to get bit. If I'm getting bit today. It doesn't fucking matter. Nothing went past my head other than I need to get this thing out.
Florida man activated.
Yeah, Florida man activated. Pulled the animal out. I handed it to Eric. I'm like, okay, let me see where the female's head. Just you have to grab the head.
You felt that pressure.
You felt that, yeah, dude.
The
and
squeeze was crazy.
She as I was able to get her mouth open. She let go of the male. The male wasn't beat up much at all. Like he had like a little bit of just a little bit of a blood from under his chin, and then she coiled the ever living fuck out of me. Where, dude, my fingers they lost color. They were purple and they were cold to the touch from how hard she was squeezing me. And like I didn't even like notice it because I was more concerned with the male, because I was like, okay, is he okay? Whatever. You know, he got separated for a couple days. I checked to make sure he was good. Everything was fine. He's already back outside, and they were together courting today. And it's that was my biggest mishap so far this year. God forbid anything worse happens.
Listen, you got wood all over the house. Just knock on something.
I'm gonna start knocking on wood.
Hey,
yo, what is he doing? It's crazy. It's on the camera. But yeah, dude. Guys, if you think it can happen, it can happen. Let us know how much. Do you want to say anything else?
Nah.
Okay, let us know if you like this episode, if you know, how you feel about us talking a little bit more about some personal stories of ours, or just like, you know, shooting the shit, a little bit more of the hanging out feel. Let us know anything specific you want us to talk about. I do want more audience involvement. I want you guys more involved into this. Helping us out, getting some of these topics together and talking about what it is that you want us to talk about. Obviously, you can become a member. You can check out the Reptiles With merch, the Reptiles With coffee. We have all of that stuff. Psych! We forgot. We have to give our reptile fun fact. Eric, what's our reptile fun fact?
Reptiles, right?
Just say it.
All
quick.
right. I said the wrong word anyway. Turtles.
Yeah.
Some species breathe through their butt.
There we go. This was the Reptiles With podcast.